west of Kutch, where it's hot and dry most of the year, with temperatures touching 50, 52 degrees, we move way up north. I think some parts of Kutch are below sea level even. We move way up north to the northernmost corner of India, to the snowy mountains of Kashmir. And our next presenter, Shruti, will come with a story of hope in despair, because that land has been mired in conflict for 33 years now. Often described by poets and travelers from ancient times as a piece of paradise, this large and picturesque valley in the middle of the Himalayas is mired in conflict and militancy for 3 decades. Once the richest state in India with a thriving crafts industry, Kashmiri carpets, pashmina, cashmere were the most prized commodities across the world. This region has witnessed strife and dwindling markets since 1989, when it fell prey to militancy. Commitment to Kashmir was set up to work with Kashmiris keen on entrepreneurship via crafts. Over to you, Shruti.
So, good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the World Hope Forum for giving us this opportunity to share our work with everyone. I'll begin by telling you a little story about the Bushmen and the Kalahari Desert. They talk about 2 types of hunger. There is this great hunger, and then there is this little hunger. The little hunger wants food for the belly, but the great hunger, which is the greatest hunger of all, is the hunger for meaning. There is ultimately only one thing that makes human beings deeply bitter, and that is to have thrust upon them a life which is without meaning. Once what you're doing has some meaning for you, you're content. You're not alone in your spirit, and you belong. Commitment to Kashmir, or C2K as we call it, aims at helping satiate that hunger by finding that very purpose and hope the craftspeople of Kashmir seem to have lost in the 3 decades of conflict. But before I tell you more about C2K, it's important that I share with you the context in which we work and how it defines the work of our region. Okay, so now I need help. I need to share my video here.
मैंने होश संभाला है, मैंने कभी नॉर्मल नहीं देखा यहाँ, तो मेरे लिए ये रूटीन है, बच्चे के लिए ये रूटीन है।
3 महीने से पूरे मजदूर का जो भी कम्युनिटी मजदूरी की है सब बेकार बैठी है।
90 young people with injuries to their eyes, and doctors say most of them will lose their eyesight.
Anyone who works with craft has to work in Kashmir, because every family, every individual is touched by craft production in some way.
ये काम बचपन से करते हैं, मैं अपने बाप से सीखा है। कम से कम 70-80 साल हो गए ये काम करते करते।
यहाँ पे तो हालात खराब की वजह से यहाँ पे बेरोजगारी भी बहुत है। लोग तो काम करना चाहते हैं, मगर जब यहाँ पे कम से कम 10 दिन बंद रहता है, जो नौजवान है वो काम नहीं कर पाते हैं।
When a place is almost locked out from the rest of India because of the insurgency and the violence that is happening, it does affect everybody.
जो तो बाहर यहाँ आ रहा था, अगर 10-20 फीट कोई उठाते थे तो उसमें तकरीबन 500 बंदे उसमें काम कर सकते थे। अब वो बाहर आ रहे हैं, यहाँ नहीं आ सकते। कश्मीर में ये तो पहली बार है जो आपने ये कोशिश किया है, तो आज तक ये मतलब ये बाप दादा का डिजाइन, हम तो खुद डिजाइनर भी था तो सब कुछ, ये बाहर का पता नहीं, हमको सिर्फ यहाँ का कश्मीर का पता है।
We are not working only with an artisan, we are actually working and scaling up and setting up enterprises. Our aim actually was to make artisans into entrepreneurs. We used to work like randomly. Now we are using business tactics. I'm thinking like a business person now.
हमें CtoK से ये फायदा मिला, एक बार में वहाँ से बाजार मिला, दूसरा उन्होंने हमें डिजाइनर दे दिया और वो हमारा पूरा हेल्प कर रहे हैं कि नया नया माल कैसे आप बनाओगे। तो हम इस वक्त भी उसी काम में लगे हुए हैं, तकरीबन 1 साल से मैं उसी काम में लगा हुआ हूँ।
पहले मुझे डिजाइनर्स का नॉलेज नहीं था, इनका मैम ने हमें सिखाया कॉस्टिंग करना, बिजनेस में मतलब हमें क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, वो मुझे सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला। What has helped us is that we have a very strong link with our partner, Craft Development Institute in Srinagar, and so they have been a very strong support system in the valley.
So CDI's role right from the beginning has to identify the right kind of people for the project and then providing the support in terms of infrastructure, documentation, and also hand-holding and networking with the right kind of raw materials, sources.
मेरा नाम मोहम्मद यूनुस शाह है, मैं पेपरमाशी का काम करता हूँ। CtoK से हमें ये फायदा मिल रहा है कि कुछ नए प्रोडक्ट्स बनते हैं, नई पहचान बनती है इस काम की। So the intervention is not only limited to a range of products, they are also thinking along with us. There's a constant dialogue with them, and that dialogue is also opening them in terms of what else they can do to improve their livelihood and their connect to the world.
Every human looks for a purpose in life, and each of these artisans themselves will employ. They will generate livelihoods to so many people. They will keep so many people engaged, and they will give so many people a purpose. So if Uroj alone gives 10 people a purpose, 50 artisans would mean 500 people getting a purpose. And I think that's, however small a battle, that's a battle won.
CtoK में ये हमारे नए डिजाइन में थोड़ा सा ये हुआ कि थोड़ी सी मुझे लग रहा है अपने तरीके से इस क्राफ्ट की थोड़ी सी शायद और उम्र बढ़ गई।
I want more market and more products. और प्रोडक्शन करना चाहती हूँ नई अलग चीजों में, और yes, there is a big hope.
We said, war is not conducive to doing business, and that we all know, and that is why there is negligible private enterprise in the valley. We don't see any companies being there. There is hardly any CSR initiatives which are taken in the valley. In fact, J&K has been ranked 29th on the ease of doing business, which is a study by the World Bank. They have nowhere to do any kind of organized employment. It's largely unorganized. It's craft or horticulture. There is no organized employment opportunities. The majority of youth who are all educated are unemployed, disillusioned, and feel victimized and angry. The result is evident in all our news headlines. Now, as was said in the film also, why is craft? Because it's the backbone of the local Kashmir economy. About 60% of the people are involved in the making or the marketing of craft. In almost every street of Kashmir, you go to any house, there will be a craft practitioner. Even when I was staying in this guest house, the cook actually is a Kani weaver. So, you will have craft is like in their blood and in their souls, as we say. Kashmir has one of the highest percentages of people dependent on craft. The conflict has isolated the artisans from any kind of innovation, design, and change. Some of these crafts, as we know it, will die within this generation. Now, despite the youth being skilled, they have nowhere to go. Craft is thus an important entry point to the social and economic development of the region in conflict. I began the presentation saying that CtoK helps in finding a purpose for the next generation of craftspeople of Kashmir and putting them back on the track of growth. We do this largely by working with craftspeople, this generation of craftspeople, who were born in conflict, by helping them set up their craft-based enterprises in the valley while they navigate their way through this conflict. This is achieved through our collaboration with institutions, with designers, with artisans who have come together as a family and collaborated wholeheartedly only with a common purpose in sight, which is empowerment of people so that we can turn their despair to hope. Our approach has been to provide end-to-end customization to each of our artisan beneficiaries. We have a very 360-degree approach by which we work with them. So it works through skilling, it works through raw material sourcing, it could be technical development, giving them tools, product development, processes, and market linkages. It is one of the most transformational projects in crafts. The brief asks the designers and all stakeholders to go beyond mere product development and look at the possibilities of experimenting with materials, tools, techniques, thereby redefining the whole range of products and markets. Since 2011, when we were started, we have supported about 37 craft-based enterprises, artisan-led enterprises. Each works and sustains the livelihood about 10 to 200 enterprise. Today, their collective turnover is actually almost 2 crores or more than 2 crores, with an increased workforce of about 40 to 400% also. And along the way, we have, as Devika had said also earlier, one of the byproducts of this project was also just creating products. We have created 1,000 products along the way. CtoK explored how design and technology collaborations in craft businesses could affect more lives positively, ours and those of the artisan families. I'm going to share 2 stories with you where we did try and work beyond the brief of design. We delved deeper into the problem, found solutions, reignited hope, and created purpose. This is a story of Javed and Firdaus. They're like 2 peas in a pod. They're brothers in the same neighborhood. They're best friends. They're selling in Kashmir, they sell bags and cushion covers at the Dal Lake. While Firdaus, who's the person on the right, he embroiders, Javed tailors. Their business prior to the conflict used to fetch them about 2 lakhs a month each. But now, post the conflict, they hardly make even 10,000 rupees. And they have to each support a family of 6, which includes, of course, wives, mother, parents, and children. Firdaus is a true Kashmiri gentleman. He lives in a place called Nawa Bazar, which is in the most dangerous part of Srinagar, where often one suffers the nauseous fumes of tear gas shells that permeate into homes and shops from streets outside. No matter where there is a lockdown, wherever there is suppose there has been some shooting in some part of Kashmir, it could be 100 kilometers away, but for sure his house will be under curfew and he'll be under house arrest. Half the year he's under house arrest. Javed tried various professions but has now settled with tailoring leather goods. Now, if you see his shop, he has his sewing machine on the far right corner. And at first glance, this shop actually looks like some mobile shop, because that's also what he does. All Kashmiris have to do multiple things at any point of time to earn an income, because you just don't know when the valley is going to shut down. So yes, he does sell SIM cards and he does sell the mobile covers. And that's all that he did during the conflict to make a living. But thanks to our intervention, now he's come back to actually his first love, which is tailoring. Together, Firdaus and Javed produce bags and accessories for the local Srinagar market, utilizing the vibrant signature crewel embroidery one can so easily associate with Kashmir. In addition to the age-old designs, you'll also see that the products lack some finish. They don't have that quality. With Devika Krishnan, who was one of our lead designers, and Harpreet Padam as the design mentors on the project, CtoK worked with Firdaus and Javed to collectively create new products, which have proven to be a huge success. Now, the first step in this collaboration was actually to upskill Javed. For this, he needed to know the material. He needed to know better material, how to work with it, finishing, resizing, pattern making. So we collaborated with National Institute of Fashion Technology in Delhi, and their leather accessories design department called him to the Delhi campus, where he had a 2-week workshop where he learned all these skills. The second step was to actually give him the tools which will enable him to apply this learning effectively. So we gave him this high-end tailoring machine, and he was so overjoyed when he received this little gift. It came to him almost at midnight. Then the third step was to create new products which reflected their lives of hope amidst all the angst. So in the everyday clamor of armored vehicles, tear gas fumes, stone pelters, and pellet gunfire, Devika found that used to often run off to the Shahi Hamdan, which is the shrine of the Hamdan, spending hours inside it, many times leaving her hanging, not being able to do her work, shutting out the conflict outside, and calming his angst from within. The place helped him find peace. He left the place feeling calm, filled with hope for a better tomorrow and for his round of design with Devika. So in the uncertainty that surrounded him and his family, Firdaus and his wife Afroza found the craft of crewel embroidery very calming and meditative. This led Devika and Harpreet to design the Shahi Hamdan collection of bags, cushions, and covers, cushions, totes, slings, pouches. The collection is a reflection of the hope Firdaus finds inside the shrine of Hamdan, coupled with the newfound precision in Javed that is keeping him motivated. This is the collection. As Javed said, that it is time to stop surviving and start living. CtoK had reignited a new fire in him and many others. The organization was now, he's just starting to learn that, he can do it on his own. And now he's ready. And he is ready. Now he's working for many more projects which have come into the valley. So it's not only he's working only for Firdaus or only for CtoK. He's working as now an independent entrepreneur, working for many more craft businesses within the valley. Another project I'd like to highlight is by Farooq Ahmed Khan. He's one of the few Namda craftspeople in the valley. The traditionally hand-felted wool rug from Kashmir is called a Namda. I'll be sharing a picture with you also soon. Farooq Saab has mastered this art over the last 35 years and has been working since the age of 17 to preserve the skill that spans over 20 generations in his family. It's a highly laborious process of making this Namda, which requires the weight of the upper body and all the strength in one's arms and legs, which chafes the forearms, palms, and soles. The result is actually very few men have taken this craft. Women, though definitely not. All until recently, actually. Also, woolen rug has hardly any market in India, and the conflict has ensured the dwindling of a once thriving export business. The lack of a common facility center and other tools to treat the coarse wool, coupled with poor average daily wages, has made the craft an endangered one. This is what a traditional Namda looks like. It's very warm. This is what they used for keeping them warm in the winters on the floor. CtoK sought to revive an interest in this craft and to include women as a part of the workforce. This meant creating products that are now easier to sell all year round to a wider audience. So Gunjan Jain, who is the other design mentor on the project with Farooq Saab, experimented with the technique of Nuno felting. The resultant fabric is lightweight, can be sewn or shaped into garments, hats, stoles, bags, and lots more. We even introduced him to felting needles. We brought those felting needles. We gave him other tools to help him master this craft of Nuno felting. This breakthrough collaboration has resulted in opening an all new direction for the Namda industry. The Namda makers can now cater to the fashion segment, which is a huge market worldwide. Women are also now very keen to take up this craft. Now, once we had trained all these micro entrepreneurs, we realized that they still needed some amount of hand holding. We were still wondering how to take this forward when COVID hit. and they had no new markets. They didn't know how to access the markets, which is when we introduced Zaina by CtoK, which is really a COVID baby. Zaina by CtoK is a social enterprise that aims to provide sustainable livelihoods, pride, and an identity to our artisans from Kashmir by bringing their creations to a platform accessible by all. With Zaina by CtoK, we aim to bridge between the Kashmiri artisans and the world, a bridge between traditional crafts and contemporary spaces. It brings you products from across crafts such as namda, the embroideries, pashmina, walnut wood, copper, in the home decor, lifestyle, and accessory space. We began our journey of Zaina by CtoK by working with one of our craft entrepreneurs, Jahangir Bhatt, and who works with chain stitch and crewel embroidery. So this is a range of cushion covers that we had created with him through one of our initial designers. He's a 2015 grantee of ours. And after that initial intervention, he has blossomed into a proper entrepreneur. Now he's taken his own design direction. And during COVID, when he had so much of piles of stock unsold, Zaina came in to help sell this stock. This is Jahangir on the left, and this is his team of women. In addition to that, we've also worked with the paper mache community, making lots of boxes and wall decor and Christmas ornaments. This is all recycled paper made from paper pulp. We've also used walnut wood and copper and created serveware as a new category, because this was never used by walnut wood. It was always used for furniture. So with its organic structure, one can see that CtoK changes shape from being a development agency to a business school, to a laboratory for experimentation, to a support system, to a marketing arm, and a whole lot more. CtoK is a platform that provides encouraging space and tools to experiment with new ideas and take them forward. It is a platform for nurturing talent. As we enter into 2023, CtoK and Zaina by CtoK will continue its journey of collaboration and cooperation to create positive impact to solve some of the challenges faced in the conflict zone. We shall continue to foster the hope and ambition of young and eager Kashmiris, keen on taking their aspirations and artisanal enterprises forward. Thank you.